Hi, this is Michael Jacobs with Erica Larkin, and welcome to Essential Golf. We're going to talk about the formula for distance. So many people focus on club head speed, and all their thoughts are there. And granted, that is important, obviously, but it's the resulting ball speed that ultimately leads to distance. So it matters where you hit on the face when it comes to distance. It's one of the biggest parts of the formula. So club head speed is great, but is your ball speed where it should be related to that club speed? Sounds pretty complicated. But one of the things that you want to know is when a club is moving around in an arc, it's moving faster out towards the toe than it is back here in the heel because it's further away. So if you're striking on the heel of the club or on the inside, you're going to have a slower club head speed and some slower resulting ball speed. Aside from the heel hit resulting in less speed, it's also going to make the ball spin. So if I hit on the heel, the club will twist and the ball will spin towards the center. So now you're starting to create alternative flights. If you hit towards the toe, the club might be moving faster at that point, but when it hits, it's also going to create resulting ball flight changes. So you might get a little more speed out towards the toe, but you might get a total different curvature. Nothing beats hitting in the center of the face. The great players hit on the center of the face, and the not so great players don't. They hit on the center of face a lot. And when you hit off center, there's so much twisting of the club that you'll start gripping tighter, arms will get tighter, more tense, and that'll screw up the body linkage. Also, when it comes to the club face, especially with the driver, when you're looking at distance, there's bulge and roll on the club, and the loft that it comes from the manufacturer with, even if you change it around a little, is really only somewhere close to the center area of the club. When you start going lower or higher on the club, the loft is different. So if you hit high on the face, the loft could end up being 3 or 4 degrees more and less down here, and you could see how that would create alternate distances. So I think the first step is assessing where you hit on the face, understanding the sort of physics that go into it, and I think you'll start to see different distance patterns.
A couple ways that you can check to see how and where you're hitting the ball on the club face is to use a little powder spray, such as a Dr. Scholl's foot powder spray or Gold Bond powder spray, and just gently give it a light coating. And then as the ball comes off the face after you've made a swing, you can actually see where the impact mark is. They also sell products such as impact tape that can go on like a sticker on the club face. I've even seen dry erase markers used on the golf ball so that we can create a little dot on the club face that can be wiped off. So those are all ways to see where you're hitting the ball on the club face if you can't feel it or if you just can't tell. Another important thing that you might try to do for practice is using a launch monitor like a flight scope or a TrackMan if you have access to one, is pay attention to what's called the smash factor. It's the efficiency score of how much ball speed you're producing for the club head speed that you're generating. And like Mike said, if the rating is low, if that ratio is low, then you know you're not getting center contact. So we want to see a nice high ratio, and for driver, that'd be about 1.5 times whatever your club head speed is. So if your ratio is 1.5, you're doing great. If your ratio is 1.35, you've got some work to do in helping improve your ability to find the center of the club face so you can get more distance out of your shots.
Yeah, and I think the way you use that formula is if you had 100-mile-an-hour club head speed and you had 150-mile-an-hour ball speed, you're in a good spot. If it's any less than that, it might be difficult. And then when it comes to training this swing, it's probably helpful just to pay a little more attention to how the club is actually lining up into contact. So standing there and calibrating where would my body linkage need to be able to get the club head to consistently hit on center? Am I setting up in real different spots that would make center face contact more difficult? So hitting the center of the face is very important.
The other thing center face contact does is it helps to reduce spin. We don't want too much spin with driver in particular, and that is so that you're able to launch it a little higher and carry the ball a good distance. So depending on your club head speed, there's an optimal range for how much speed and launch you want to have. And again, you're going to get the best of both worlds when you hit it on the middle of the club face.
And getting fit for a driver by a local professional is probably a good way to go as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hope this leads to more distance.